I actually wrote a business plan for this business when I was a student in business school at UCLA, and I remember the professor gave me a B on it, which is not a good grade in graduate school, and his comments were, "This is a very nicely prepared business plan, however, I find the concept to be implausible." He just explained in his brief comments that it would be implausible for a company in such a hyper-competitive industry where everything's about cost of funds to be able to borrow money from your competitors and turn around and loan it back out again. If you have a good enough idea, and if you have people who are really committed to it and work very hard, and you can really provide a different and better level of service, there is a way. When we started the company, I was a first-year law student at Cornell Law School, and I received a call from Guy Klingler, and Guy said, you know, we've always thought about starting our own business, and we've always had an idea how we could build a different kind of finance company, and I think now's the time. I think we should start our business. And being a pretty good salesperson, he somehow convinced me that it would be a good idea to go to law school at Cornell in my first year and start a business on the side. At the very beginning, we started our office in New York at my kitchen table at a house at 200 King Road in Ithaca, New York. Shortly thereafter, maybe a few months later, we opened an office in the M&T Bank building on the Commons in Ithaca.
Business had started to pick up enough where Bill needed somebody as a receptionist to help as an office manager, and I was looking for a job, and there's this great leasing company. Leasing, sure, who doesn't want to be in leasing when they grow up?
We were just fortunate to find people who were nice people and would be willing to come work with us.
I just graduated from Cornell in animal science, and my two jobs at the time were working with sled dogs and with horses.
It was probably about 1,000 square feet or less that we had.
There's 4 people, and at the time I think, there were 3 client folders out on a table because that's all the clients there were.
There was a meeting called the Executive Roundtable, and it was the CEOs of most of the larger equipment finance companies in the U.S. And I remember one of my first meetings, I went and every single person that met me looked at my name tag and said, "First American, never heard of it."
We were an organization that had a lot fewer customers, virtually no name ID or brand recognition. So an organization that kind of really had to fight for every piece of business we could get.
You know, we were going to give this business everything we had, but if it didn't work for us, we were going to fail like professionals.
We were a startup organization, but we had a lot of heart. We had tremendous people, we had tremendous work ethic, and we weren't gonna give up.
We had a group of A players, and everybody worked real hard, and I think you expect that with a small company as it's trying to grow and be successful.
Bill really had a passion for his vision of the company.
When we started the business, I think both Guy and I had a belief in the power of the individual to make a difference, and I think we both had a belief in a efficient, flat organization where people were truly empowered to serve clients and to make business decisions.
Somebody had gotten $1 million award, which at the time was the Powerball. $1 million was crazy. And Bill asked me to call the customer. And I'm thinking, I've been here for 3 weeks. I'm 24 and my expertise is with feeding dogs. You want me to call the customer? And that's probably the first time I knew it was something special, because Bill had more faith in you than you had in yourself to do something.
It was really a time in the company's history where it was imperative that each employee wore many hats and did what they could to help the company succeed.
People worked in teams and people were empowered to make decisions, and that was kind of that was the message from day one.
From day one when I've arrived here at First American, I knew it was something different. I knew that the mission and what we were trying to accomplish was much bigger than what you'd see in a lot of other places.
When I started, it was actually pretty interesting because half the department had interviewed me, so I knew it was going to be a great organization to be a part of.
I just remember, everybody just being so friendly and so welcoming, and I really felt like I made quick connections with people.
I could tell that it had a great business plan, and that it really had the opportunity to go and do incredible things because it had really smart, bright, talented people.
20 years ago was really before the prevalence of the internet, the prevalence of email. At the time, faxing was a new technology, and people were buying fax machines for every department.
We had a dial-up connection.
I calculated commissions by hand with a pencil and paper.
I remember Adam Fay and I started at about the same time, and we both had the same cell phone. And it was literally the Zach Morris brick cell phone, and we would, get to the office every morning and put this big cell phone in our desk.
So the technology was a lot different back then. But we felt that the centralized distribution model for commercial lending was ripe for some innovation.
I think we kind of really learned early on that through technology we could kind of outpace our competition.
Technology that employees use was better than even what I was using at some of the larger companies I worked for. I came here, we had flat screen computer monitors, which at the time was kind of a big deal.
I remember early on, and I think it was Sonia Kleffel's career, that she convinced us to try virtual meetings. And it was early on, I want to say 2004, when Sonia joined the organization and really revolutionized how we distribute our product to our customers.
The founders of the company understood and embraced technology. I think that gave the company an edge on other companies. What I did then and what I do now is just not scalable without technology.
We had no idea what we were on the precipice of in terms of, total changes in the way businesses work because of the internet. But we were very fortunate that the model that we had in mind, the centralized model, really worked extremely well with these technology changes. And we both my business partner and I, had an interest in technology and trying to find ways to deploy the latest technology, so that really became the core of our business strategy.
In terms of the culture and the atmosphere, I definitely get the impression that it's by design. The fact that there are so many individuals with so many similar qualities in terms of the work ethic and the customer-centric focus and just a level of passion and energy involved in how they do the job, it becomes apparent very quickly that it's not a coincidence.
Because of the mutual respect, nobody wants to be the weakest link, so everybody's always picking up each other, and you always know that everybody has the best interest of the company at all times.
First American didn't happen on accident. It happened by design, and when we all kind of were brought into the company, we knew that this was something special. I almost thought it was too good to be true.
I came from an environment with a few other large financial firms, and the opportunity was great, but I was really boxed in. And so when I came to First American, I was able to be as creative as I wanted to be.
I get to be creative, come up with new ideas and new processes, and hopefully find a better way to do things than they've been doing them, which is great for the last 20 years.
What I like best about First American is the people.
The great part about First American is their people.
The core factor continues to be the people that are here, of course.
I actually met my wife here at First American.
I actually ended up meeting my husband.
More than anything, it's the people here at First American that genuinely care about one another and genuinely care about our clients.
I think I would much rather have someone working on our team that's very loyal and trustworthy and is a pretty good executive than somebody who's just a superstar technically.
If you've got somebody with the right energy level and they're high horsepowered and have a lot of potential, they'll figure out the technical aspects.
It's a lot of good team building. As you can see, a lot of excitement. Who wouldn't want to work here?
Certainly the one big change that comes to mind is our office move. I think we really saw kind of our vision get achieved with respect to our work environment, and it's given us this great kind of boost of energy and confidence that we're really going places as a company.
Then we had this call from City National. Russell Goldsmith came out to meet with us, the CEO of the bank, and told a wonderful story about what was really also an entrepreneurial company, a much larger entrepreneurial success story that he and his father over the last 50 years had built. Very quickly, he and I directly worked out a transaction that really allowed us to bring in the resources to grow the company to a new level. I realize how fortunate I've been to have had a career where I work with people that I like and respect. We work to build something that we're proud of and we're excited about every day. and you work with people that you learn from and become better because you respect them and you're inspired to try and improve yourself. So I feel like every day when I reflect on what we've done, I couldn't have been more fortunate than to have had the opportunity to work with the people that I've worked with over the last 20 years.
It's going to be exciting when we do make the cover of the Wall Street Journal or we do make the cover of Time Magazine.
As a company, we can change the way banking is done on a global scale.
You know, we really have the ability to compete and win the larger ticket transactions.
I think we will continue to revolutionize the industry, but I also think there will be new revolutions.
In the future, I envision First American being listed on the Forbes list of top companies to work for.
We'll have a big First American sign on the side of the building. Maybe we'll take over the entire office park.
We've developed a strategy that we've determined works. We've proven it out.
But it's a series of small innovations along the way. People that have the courage to try new things and make things better and put themselves out there and not be afraid to fail.
You know, it's not going to be long before when people think equipment leasing and financing, they think First American.
10% market share, I think, is definitely within the realm of possibility.
Quite honestly, we are just getting warmed up.